What's going on, everybody? We are about to cook today, okay? So grab your drink. I've got my mud. I've got my zinnies. And I've got the lippies, okay? There is a lot of messages that I want to get through today. If only I could open my zinny thing. Yes. So there's a lot coming through. This is a very important time. Okay? This is a very important time that we're walking through right now. And I've got a lot to say. I'm just going to jump right into it. All right? We're not gonna putz around today, okay? We've got a lot to get into. Your lifelong dreams are more visible than ever to you. This is confirmation for somebody who has been aware of their life purpose their entire existence. Like maybe you got some kind of message when you were really little about what you're supposed to be doing in this life. Maybe you were always like a different kind of kid. You know, like I'm getting someone who like was the sweetest little peach, but it was like other kids didn't get you. You have been maybe isolated in a way your whole life. And in some ways that's always made sense to you. But And what a blessing that is. You know what I mean? Like, there's this constant confirmation of like everything has always been happening exactly the way it's supposed to. I was called to put in one of my vampire teeth today. I might take it out because it's getting in the way of my speech. But let's just take in the moment before it needs to come out. The moment. I got these made for me in 2020 by Alligator Jesus. This is a shirt. Love me some Under Oath. This is a shirt. Just so you're clear. I found this shirt on the floor of a college party when I was 19, and it is holding up exactly the way that you'd expect it to, and it's the softest thing, and it's just like always been a part of who I am. This is like one of my signature shirts, and it's the best thing in the world. You know, it's more holes than fabric, and it's just the softest, best shirt in the world. So what a blessing it has been to walk your path exactly the way it always has been. And you're seeing that more clearly than ever now. You're like, the way my family treated me prepared me to be the untouchable person that I am today. The way other kids never understood me made me so comfortable in the necessary hermit modes that I'm called into. I've never been afraid of being alone because I've always been alone. You know, so like needing times where you're like isolated from other people doesn't scare you. Being misunderstood doesn't scare you because you've always been misunderstood. You see, like, all of these things are starting to come full circle. I gotta take this out. I can't talk. It looks so good, but I can't talk. All of these things are coming full circle where you're like, oh, the person that I am today wouldn't have been possible if I didn't go through all the, maybe at the time, scary stuff, traumatic stuff. What a beautiful experience where you're like, oh, if I didn't have the effed up family that I had, I wouldn't be the solid, inspiring person that I am today. If, you know, I was like a popular kid, I would be like soft and different, not exactly the person that I am today. If I didn't go through that horrific, traumatic thing that was hell on earth for me to walk through at the time, I wouldn't be the type of person that people come to for help. You know, I wouldn't be an unshakable force of nature that I am today if I didn't survive homelessness, drug addiction, the hell that I went through, which might have felt like torture at the time, or like even gratitude, the depth of gratitude that you have today that brings you so much happiness and fulfillment no matter what's going on. You're like, if I didn't go through the horrible things that I had to go through, I wouldn't be happy as I am today. Because now I'm not going through those things anymore, and I have gratitude just for the simple fact that I'm not going through those things anymore. The gratitude that I experience is immeasurable, and maybe you're looking around and seeing people who had softer lives than you aren't as grateful and happy as you are, crazy enough. You know, the people that you see who haven't walked through the hell on earth that you have are not as happy as you are. Is that crazy? You know, it may be counterintuitive, but it's like you have been forged in the flame of life, and it has made you happy and grateful and positive and like juicy. Like, it has made your life juicy, and you understand the extremes. You understand the extremes of life, and you are, you know, I don't mean to be like down-putting to people who haven't been through the kind of lives that we have, but it's like, I don't envy people who had a softer life path than I. Because, like, straight up, like, they're not, like, the most interesting people. You know what I mean? Like, I've dated some dudes in the past who have been, like, grown up rich and like had everything handed to them and even had their rent paid as an adult, and like dead ass, they're like not the most interesting, juicy people you could hope to meet. It's the MFs like us who have seen the extremes of life who like you want to have a conversation with, because it's like, what am I to learn from somebody who's never been through anything? What am I to learn from someone who has not built themselves out of their own bones and blood and wood and driftwood of their life? You see? And that's, again, no shade, no hate to anybody, but it's like, damn, I am so grateful for everything that has forged me, because I would not change a single thing about myself. I am exactly the way I am because of all those rich, beautiful, horrific, magical experiences that I've had. So it's like you are coming into a phase in your life where you realize that your lifelong purpose, The things that you have been created for are coming into view more visibly than ever. And there's a message of like, the phase that you are going through right now is just for you. There's a lot that I'm going to get to right now. And we're going to do an extended message on Patreon. So I'll see you over on Patreon. The link is in my description box and pinned comment below. The healing and the phase that you are going through right now is just for you. And I'm reading from my notes because I've been having many downloads this morning for this video. These videos. The phase you're going through right now is just for you. It will have an impact on many people when it is meant to. But what you are experiencing right now is just for you. And I need you to remember that. Because I hear someone going through this like kind of push and pull and this like kind of tug of war of like, I want to share things with people. I want to get people involved. I want to be very, there's like this push and pull between being very private and very public right now. And what I'm being asked to remind you is that what is going on is just for you. It will have an impact on, I'm hearing, millions of people, but it is sacred and holy and just for you at this stage. The intimate, private things you are doing just for yourself are going to have massive impact on this world. This is bigger than money. This is even bigger than the individual things that you are creating. This is bigger than your YouTube analytics. This is about a soul being called into their purpose because the universe needs them there. I feel like I see someone keep trying to Google what they're going through or how to deal with what they're going through or trying to follow some prescribed path to create what they're creating. Or look up steps to build what they're building. But you are not meant to create or walk your path the way anybody else has created or walked their path. You are here to follow, you are not here to follow steps set forth by anyone else. Your creations and your life doesn't play by anybody else's rules. And be careful not to try to seek guidance from other people, especially people who just post these listicles on the internet who you don't even know. This could all be very well-meaning information, and like I'm seeing somebody like starting a YouTube channel and they look up how to create a successful YouTube channel, and it's like all these 10-step things, and you got to have this, you got to have this, you got to play by these rules, you got to fit yourself into these kind of molds and categories, and it's like that stands to greatly limit you. Like imagine it's like a unicorn trying to follow the steps to be the best horse they can be. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like a magical fairy otherworldly creature trying to read a 10-step list on how to be the best human they can be. It's not going to work. It's not the time to be listening to other people's judgments or concerns about your path. Anyone who's going to spend any time thinking about your path and how you should be walking it is just projecting their own stuff, first of all. They could be well-meaning as heck, but your path is yours. Their path is theirs. They're wasting their own time and energy and effort thinking about your path and the way it should be walked, first of all. Yeah, it's like I see somebody like batting off external influences where it's like all these advice and articles and people putting their input, and it's like, what? Like, nothing I am doing, it's kind of like a double-sided coin where it's like nothing I am doing is supposed to be touched by external influences. But on the flip side, it's like what I am doing is going to influence many, many people. So it's like privacy is big right now. Discernment is big right now. Hermit mode. Sacred. Solitude. And I see you like putting a protective bubble around yourself and your energy. This could be part of your practice where you're like envisioning a protective field around yourself that doesn't let other people's influences in, because you understand that other people are not really going to be involved in the creation of what you're creating. Other people are meant to be impacted by what you're creating. Yeah, the way you are walking your path, the way you have been walking it, is yours and yours alone. Anything that anyone has to say, whether it's judgment, love, approval, or what, needs to have no bearing on you right now. You are stepping into what has been tailor-made for you your whole existence. And approval could feel really good. You know, we're human. We love to hear that we're doing a good job. And I think the collective that I read for is beyond that, you know, like we're not really worried about approval at this stage. We're not, again, it's nice, it's great to hear, it's great to see the impact already of what you're doing. There's a hair dingle-dangling into my field of view. I thought it was a bug for a moment. Yeah, I think people who are attracted to my messages are sovereign enough to like take it in, like, cool, I'm getting love, I'm getting approval, I'm getting support. That's awesome, and I'm very grateful for it. But not to get lost in that for too long, because it's like, okay, now back to what I'm doing. Same thing with the judgment or negativity or whatever. And you're lit enough to know that the judgment and the negativity is a good sign. You see? Because if your message, or you, like, a friend of mine and I had a conversation some years ago where somebody was about to introduce one of their friends to her, and this person goes, you know, I'm going to introduce you to my friend, I'll just make up a name, like, so my friend Jessica, was about to be in... I'm confusing myself. My friend Jessica and I were talking about something that happened. So Jessica was about to have her friend introduce somebody to her. And friend said, be careful, Jessica's not for everybody. Meet Jessica. And Jessica found out that this person had said she's not for everybody. And maybe that like stung at first. But Jessica said to me, like, who wants to be for everybody? Who wants to be for everybody? That means that you stand for nothing. Because everybody out here doesn't have good taste. You know what I mean? Like, everybody out here is not living authentically. Everybody out here is not receptive to beauty and truth and vulnerability and joy and purity and like juiciness. Everybody out here is not dope. So who wants to be for everybody? And it's like, you know, they say, oh, if you got haters, you're doing something right. It's true though. Because it's like once you start getting enough eyes on your stuff and some people disapprove of it, that's a really good sign. And of course, we're human. We want to have love and approval and whatever. But you have to understand and remind yourself that judgment and people putting their poo-poo opinions on your stuff, that's a really good sign. Okay? Okay, another really important message before I go over to Patreon, like, and apply this to your own thing. Like, this could not, you know, we're all creative beings. The ways we create is just different, right? But so apply this to the way it works for you. But like, I'm seeing a creative person who has maybe stepped out of the spotlight for some years in a way that felt necessary for them to like focus on their healing or focus on their adulty stuff, like get a good amount of money or a home under them and just like kind of get their stuff together, you know what I mean? And maybe like well-meaning creative friends of yours who are used to seeing you pump out creative projects being like, where have you been? We miss your creations. We miss seeing you create. We miss seeing you in the spotlight. And that may have brought up some bad feelings in you before, where you're like, damn, am I doing something wrong? Have I fallen off? Am I not living my life purpose? Have I stepped off the path? But you are seeing that it's not really possible for you to step off the path. Everything that you have been doing is all part of it. Everything you have been doing is perfect, and you're having these moments of like, oh, it's all path. It's all part of it. Even when I haven't been creating, I have been creating. I have been molding the path. I have been on the path this whole time. You know, you've never fallen off. And lots of people might not understand that. But there's a message, a thread through this whole message of like outside influences and outside interpretations are not part of your game right now. They're not meant for you to be taking in right now. And like, yeah, it might hurt at first to hear people like, where have you been? Or, you know, we miss you. Or like, why aren't you just mindlessly pumping stuff out anymore? Like, but you are reminding yourself and really, really embodying the fact that every step of your path and the way that it's looked has been perfectly orchestrated to get you where you're supposed to be. It's like you've been getting seasoned and baked to perfection in private. And it's like you're not even letting that pressure or those words in anymore. And you have this peace finally of knowing that nothing has ever been out of place. Yeah, and I just keep getting this message of like everything that is happening in private for you right now is going to have an impact on countless people. So it's like that timeline is going to look different for all of us. And there's also a very important message of like everything that you're doing in private is already having an impact massively. We out here. I'll see you over on Patreon. I love you very much. Yeah.